Well, hello everyone. Thank you for taking time out of your day today. We're going to go ahead and get started. Today's webinar, sponsored by Huawei, is with our partner Curriki, who is an online educational website, and their tagline is Inspiring Learning Everywhere. We're particularly excited today to have this topic because most of the webinars that we do are about speeds and feeds and technology equipment such as servers and network devices and the like. So this is a big departure from our normal topic, and we're super excited about it because Huawei is a great friend of education. It's a big part of our focus, and we try to do everything we can to help educational institutions. We do want to encourage this webinar to be interactive, so if you have questions throughout the webinar, we encourage you to enter those in the Q&A panel and the chat panel on your ReadyTalk interface, and we will take those at the end. Also, a couple times throughout the session, we're going to have polling questions, and when we do, we'd love your interactive responses, and we'll share the results with the entire audience. So please respond to the polling questions. And then finally, this webinar is being recorded, so you can definitely pass the recording on to a friend and let other people listen to it who may not have attended. Our special guest today is Janet Pinto. She's the Chief Academic Officer and the Chief Marketing Officer at Curriki, and she's going to give us a great update on the site. Before we turn it over to Janet, I just want to run through a few quick things relative to Huawei. First of all, in case you're not familiar with the company, we just kind of want to make sure everybody's level set with who we are and what we do. So Huawei is almost a $50 billion global enterprise company that has three main business units selling into the carrier space, into the enterprise space, and also the consumer space. You may have seen Huawei phones or tablets around. That's how a lot of people are familiar with the company. But it's a massive company doing business in over 140 countries. 45 of the world's top 50 telecom operators use Huawei equipment. And so it's just very, very large corporation. Our U.S. headquarters is based in Plano, Texas, and we've been around there for almost coming up on 15 years now. And we have more than 1,700 employees just in the U.S. alone. So it's quite a significant investment in the U.S. market. Speaking of investment, I think one of the most interesting things about Huawei is the investment in innovation. Huawei spends over $6 billion a year in R&D, and of the employee base, 70,000 of the employees are in the engineering department and related fields. We have 23 joint R&D centers worldwide, or 23 R&D centers and 25 joint innovation centers with other partners that we work with. So this is a company that's investing heavily in the R&D space and in innovation and in trying to push the technology boundaries. We're involved in a large number of standards organizations, including having people that chair those organizations and participate in many different ways. And we have tens of thousands of patents worldwide to kind of show as a result of a lot of the different innovation that we've done. Finally, I just want to mention from a portfolio perspective, this group that we're dealing with at Huawei today is really focused on the enterprise space. And there we have a couple of different areas of technology that we focus on. One is the unified communication space where we have telepresence and VoIP type systems. The next one is our campus and branch space where we focus on our networking products, the switching and the routing, as well as our ELTE solutions for broadband wireless. And then finally in the data center, we have a predominance of server products as well as data center switching, top of rack switching, and various storage products. We do have a couple of vertical focus areas, and one of the largest is education. So we are closely working with a number of higher education and K through 12 school institutions, and through that, we're basically created a great friendship of education, and that's kind of the genesis of our partnership with Curriki. So what we want to do at this point is have our first polling question. So I'd like everybody just to take a moment to answer this, and the first polling question is, what is your level of familiarity with free educational websites for students, educators, and parents? So the first choice says that you are actually a teacher and you use these kind of educational sites for your core curriculum. The next one says that you're more of a student and you're using it for your curriculum. And then the next answer says that you just use it to kind of augment your learning. So you might have a child or you yourself use it when you're doing homework or you just want to get a little bit of extra information. And then the next one is about just curiosity learning, saying, look, it's not even part of a class. I just like to go out there and use these sites to learn more about different topics. And then the final one says you have no familiarity whatsoever. So go ahead and just take about 15 seconds to place a vote here, and then we'll share the results with everybody. And while you're doing that, I just one more time want to make a plea for questions. So as Janet starts to go through the bulk of her presentation, if you have questions about what she's talking about or about the demo that she's going to show, just type them in the chat panel, and we'll definitely take those questions at the end, and we appreciate that. So let's go ahead and take a look at the results. So it looks like a little over half of us are using these kinds of sites just to go and learn information about things that we're interested in. About 20% are using it to augment. And again, you're probably answering for your kids in a lot of cases, some of you, but you're using that to kind of augment the classroom work. And then some of the teachers that are on the line here say that this is some of their fundamental curriculum. So that will be very useful to Janet as she goes through the presentation. So with that, I would like to turn it over to our core presenter today, and that's going to be Janet Pinto from Curriki. Janet, we're so pleased to have you, and please take it away.
Thank you, Nick. I'm really happy to be here to share all this good news with everyone who's joined us. So let's get started. This is me. I'm a former special ed teacher, Florida resident, New York transplant, and I live and breathe everything Curriki for teachers and students around the world. Please feel free to contact me with any questions afterwards as well. I want to, before we start, say thank you to Huawei for hosting us today. This is a very special opportunity for Curriki, and we couldn't do it without Huawei. So today during the demo, this whole presentation, I'm going to cover a few things. First, for those that aren't familiar with Curriki, I'll go into what is Curriki, and then I will talk a little bit more about what's new in Curriki, and then we're going to go to a demo of the new website, and during that demo I'll show you how to create an account and how to search for resources. I'll show you what you can do with resources once you've found some that you like. I'll show you how you can create a group within Curriki and discuss what you can do with a group once you've created it. We'll also look at the new process for making a resource contribution to the site. And along the way, I'll show you all the little improvements, we think they're big improvements, that we've made to the site. So and then we'll follow up with some Q&A. So Curriki is really both a library of hosted resources that have been contributed by members as well as content partners, and it's a full-on community. So the library is all shared material licensed by the contributors with Creative Commons licenses that allow for the sharing of those materials for educational purposes. So parents, students, educators around the world have free availability to use all of those materials. And materials that are shared in this way on Curriki and elsewhere are called Open Educational Resources, or OER. On Curriki, we have thousands of vetted, curated resources for educators and students and parents. The design, especially the new design, allows for quick and efficient searches for curated collections or units or courses. So our main aim with that is to save valuable planning time for educators. Members of the site can save any resource to their private Curriki library, so they have quick and easy access to those resources at a later time, and I'll show you that. Many of the resources in the site are already aligned to standards, and with the new tools, it's going to be even easier to add those alignments to your contributed resources. So our community is really as diverse as the world itself. Members from every country around the world have come together on this platform to share and collaborate and connect in order to make the best teaching and learning materials universally accessible and useful. Members are also invited to go deeper by working together in collaborative workspaces, which we call Curriki groups, and I will show that to you. Let's change the slide. Okay, so a little overview of OERs. They're really free resources licensed with Creative Commons licenses. So to share and are an excellent cost-saving solution. There can be anything from complete courses to units to lessons to all types of media files, interactives, videos, and more. And we've got them all on Curriki. So this slide displays some results from surveys conducted by the OER Research Hub. The results show that educators are using OERs in order to get new ideas and use them in lesson planning and use them as supplemental to their core curriculum. And Curriki members, through our own surveys, tell us the same thing. They use materials to supplement their lessons and curriculum and often come to the site seeking creative inspiration. The surveys also brought to light, which I was quite pleased to see when these came out in December 2014, the various ways OERs make a positive impact on both teaching and learning. You can see on the slide, teachers broaden their range of teaching methods when they use OERs. They feel that they reflect more on the ways that they teach, and they also report that when they use them in their instruction, learner engagement and satisfaction and interest are increased. So OERs can be a valuable experience and useful tool in teaching and learning. So Nick, I think we have polling question number 2.
Yes, outstanding. Thank you so much for that intro. And we are going to go ahead and do the second polling question. And what we're trying to figure out right now, we asked earlier about your familiarity and usage of just general educational websites. Now we're trying to find out, what was your level of Curriki prior to this webinar? Were you familiar with the platform but you hadn't used it? Had you used it before? Had you actually contributed resources to it, or did you have no familiarity at all? So go ahead and just place your vote there, and we'll go ahead and take a look at the results. And while you're doing that, we are starting to get some good questions coming in from the audience, so we definitely want to encourage you to continue that. Janet says there is no question that can stump her, so she's looking forward to getting some great questions out of the audience here, and we'll go ahead and make sure that we answer those for you at the end. Janet, it looks like more than half the people are familiar with Curriki but haven't necessarily used it, and then a smattering of people that have used it, and just a small percentage that had no familiarity at all. So good job getting the word out.
Thanks. I'm glad we have a mix of people, because it gives Curriki an opportunity to bring more educators and parents into the Curriki family. Excellent.
All right. Well, go on ahead then. Well done.
Okay, great. So one of our main focuses for the update to the Curriki website was to make Curriki run as fast and as smoothly as possible to improve the experience. That's why we have rebuilt the whole infrastructure from the ground up and re-engineered many of the Curriki's core components. In addition to a new beautiful UI, which you'll see in a moment, we have installed personal dashboards for every member. It's obviously mobile friendly. We've consolidated the library, simplified some processes such as uploading and aligning resources to standards. The search is improved. We've also kind of made it easier for people to connect with each other. So just like on Twitter, you can follow somebody and see their tweets. On Curriki, you'll be able to follow someone and see their contributions. The Curriki reviews by the Curriki review team who reviews all the resources, they're now going to be using the OER rubrics by Achieve, and we're quite excited about that. We've put in new discussion forums as well, again, to help people to connect with each other in groups. So in a moment, we'll switch over to the demo of the new website, and I just want to kind of reiterate, I'm going to share with you a few things, certainly not a full-on, in-depth exploration of the whole site. There's more than I can share in this brief time, but I'll show you from the beginning to how to create a Curriki account. We'll search for resources, We will save and share resources. We'll contribute a resource. If we have time, we'll create a group and we'll search and join some other groups. So with that, I think that we will share my desktop. One moment. Okay.
Janet, I'll let you know when I can see it on my end. I know it takes a few, like a minute to come up. And I'm so excited that you're doing a live demo because it's really neat for people to be able to see the actual site and have you help them navigate around it and just show them the best way to use it. So this is going to be really great.
Yeah, I'm excited to share it too. This site is still under development, and so not a lot of people outside of Curriki have seen it yet. So this is really exciting for us too. Okay.
There it is. Yep, we can see it now. Excellent. Yep, absolutely.
So this is the new Curriki homepage where you will log in or join. But before I go through that, I just want to scroll down a little bit so you can see the full page. It tells the story of Curriki kind of that I just gave you. A global community, direct access to kind of find a group. On the homepage, we're also going to feature a group or a member here in the community spot. We'll rotate those. Curated resources, again, direct access, highlighting this excellent Raisin in the Sun unit. Curriki resources, like I said earlier, aligned to standards, and this happens to be one. Again, we tell the Curriki story down the page. You know, we're really a global community. And here are some nice quotes from some new teachers, a veteran teacher who's actually been with Curriki for quite a long time. This woman from San Antonio is actually a teacher trainer, and this is a high school student who's had excellent experiences last year when she was struggling with geometry and told us about it. And if you haven't already, I encourage you to sign up for our monthly newsletter so that you can have recommended resources in your inbox. So before we join or log in, I'm going to show you, you can actually search right here for resources or members or groups. You can also search from this search bar here. It's always going to be present throughout the site, no matter where you are. So if you're not already a member, you click the sign up, and it's very short sign up. We ask you to tell us your role in education and your country. If you don't want to fill out the form, you can simply connect with Facebook or Google. I am going to log in, and it's the same thing. You could sign up, connect, log in with Facebook or Google, but I'm already in here. I don't want to wait. Sorry about that. Like I said, the guys are still working on the website. So once you log in, this is the screen that you'll see. It's your personal dashboard page where you'll see the latest Curriki activity here, and you can see they're testing the site now. But once everybody is on and it's live, your activity feed will include all activity on the site, including from any groups that you're in, content uploads, contributions, and the resources most recently reviewed by the Curriki review team. We'll also be featuring resources, recommended resources here on the dashboard, groups that are very exciting and active, and we would encourage you to join. We're going to spotlight some of our members too every month or so, and partners here, because some of our partners like Silver Spring Networks have actually contributed some excellent materials to the website. So this page is your profile as well. We encourage you all to edit your profile, put in a profile picture, share your information if you have a Facebook page, your email. You don't have to; those are not required. But your interest levels would be really helpful for helping us to show you the resources that you're interested in. Up here, you can see we've built in a series of buttons for the most common activities. So to access your library, your contacts, and this is a new area for Curriki, your groups, a button that triggers the contributor resource process. It helps you find a group, and right here, that one will begin the start a group process, so you can start your own group. Okay, but before we do anything, let's start with finding resources. So like I said, you can search for resources right here, or from the home page, or click the resource library icon button right at the top, and this is the main resource search page. You can also search for groups or members here just by clicking the tab. But we're going to start with resources, and I will pick a common topic for science teachers. And these are the search results. We've refined this quite a bit to enable people, or members using the site, to take action right here from the page. But before we look at that, if I have too many resources in the list, I can refine this to see the newest ones first, and it should switch for me. And or if I want to look at the ones that have been rated by members or by the Curriki team or our standards align, I could choose to do that as well. Now, if I want to refine these results, all I have to do is click More Search Options, and I can pick a more detailed science topic, refined by grade level or by type of materials. So these are all the types of materials that we have in Curriki right now. So there's also the capability to search by standard. We have, it's a pretty simple process. There are a lot of sets of standards in here, but it's pretty simple. You just click here, select the standard set that you want, go next, go for English, and then select the standards that you want. And you can select more than one. I think on a PC you hold down the Control button, and on a Mac I think it's, I forget what it is actually. So, but you can select a few or one or none. You can simply stay here and hit search, and you will get your search results for that entire set of standards. So we've made the search results page even easier to work with. So immediately from the results list, you can save a resource to your library with one click. And, sharing resources right here is so much easier. Facebook and Twitter and email, and also you can just copy the link and paste it into your notes or into an email to share with other people as well, colleagues, students, your kids. You can see more information about the resource here without having to actually click in and go to the resource. You can look at and helps you scan which resources you actually want to look at without having to go into a resource page if you're not ready to do that. So let's see. Like I said, we can search for members and groups as well. So let's take a look at groups. Just do a quick. Oops, that was me. A quick search for math groups. Let's see what we come up with. Oops, that was me, sorry. I searched for resources. So these are all the mathematics-related groups that have come up in the site so far. That looks like a fun group, mathematics lovers. And some of these, like you can see that they're school-based. Some of them are skills and interest-based. And we can do the same thing for members. I'm going to search for a member who I know is quite active, so I can show you her profile. This is Chris Mitko. She's been a Curriki member for some years, and her profile, she filled it in. She loves to blog. She's a middle school science teacher. You can see that she's in a part of 7 groups. And since she doesn't have any activity yet because she hasn't been on this new site, but once we launch, she will be here, quite active. So let me go back to our search results to show you. Let's look at a resource page. Let's see, which one do we want to look at? Newest. Let's look at this one. Okay, this is actually a really good one to look at because it is a complete collection. So since there are multiple resources in this collection, just like on the current site, you can see and click into each one of them here, or you can scan each resource that he has uploaded and shared right here. So in this resource, you can look at the information about the item. So he's just put in some descriptive items, but you can also still see the resource below it. If it has been standards aligned, you would see those listed here, but it's not. So in fact, you could align this resource, or Rob Lucas could align it right here. If you like the resource, you could rate it, give it a rating, and submit a review. And then let's take a look. So there's my review. And look, Chris Mitko actually had reviewed this a while ago. And it has been reviewed by the Curriki review team and given a rating of 3. So you can see all the reviewer comments, which are really helpful when you're looking for a resource and want to pick the right one before you take action. So let's go to my library. So you can access your library from here. You don't have to go straight to you don't have to go to the dashboard page. You can access the contacts and library and groups right from that blue navigation bar. And so these are all the resources and collections that I've saved to my library. Sometimes the list of saved resources can get quite long, so we have added a sort by feature to help you find what you're looking for. We've made it super easy to edit or make a copy of the items in your website, in your library, and quick share right here. Send it off to an email or Gmail or Twitter or Facebook or Tumblr to share a resource with a colleague or a student. And from the library page, you can create a new collection folder where you'll put resources, and you can also simply upload individual resources. If you want to organize your collections a little bit differently, we've also put in a tool for that. So let's contribute a resource to the site. And I'm going to stick with mitosis. Materials, just put in a title, a nice description. You really want to make it a more detailed description than I'm going to do right now. And the great thing about this new tool is that you can put multiple components together into one resource. There's no need to upload a link separately, and then separately upload a document, and then separately upload a video. We can put them all in one resource if you prefer. So to add a link to this site, first let me put in a header. Well, it's on mitosis resources. I can spell, and I'm going to make it a header. I don't want it bright red, so let's make it blue, center it, and there we go. Let's enter a link from let's do an image. Sorry about that. We can do image and paste it in there, center it up. Okay. We can add a video to a resource. Hang on one second. I need to grab my link. Here it is. What you want to do if you're grabbing a video from YouTube to paste into your collection, you want to insert it as a link with the embed code. So it goes right there, and it will embed. This is a fun one from Crash Course. And there is a great feature here. If we want to also insert a link to a great external website, insert the link right here, and then Curriki will actually take a snapshot of that homepage of that site that you're sharing, and place it right here. So you've got a visual. So that's step one. Next we go to describe, and you can click up here or click the next step button where you describe your resource. And this is science, biology, 910. Put in some keywords, and this is got a lesson plan, it's got a video, it's got an image. So I'm going to select all of those things. If I had placed a document in there, you would also be able to select a curriculum or lesson plan. And you can also align to standards right here while you're uploading, which I find such a great feature. The next step is to talk about access, and our defaults are that you're uploading to share with the whole community, but if you want to make it your resource a protected one so that no one can edit it, or private one so that you or only your group can view it and edit it, then that's your choice. The default license is Creative Commons non-commercial, but of course you can change that. We submit our resource. And let's take a look at it. And there we go. So on this resource, you can see that, I have the link that I uploaded, but I also have the image, the mitosis image photograph, and the video that I uploaded, which will play right here in the resource page. The information, I didn't add very much. The standards, it hasn't been aligned because we skipped that, and there's no reviews yet. But you can see that the resource is beneath. I'm going to add it to my library. Actually, I didn't have to do that. It should be in my library already. So let's go back to the dashboard because I want to show you how to create a new group. And it's very similar to what I just walked you through in creating the new resource. So let's see, math. Resources to use in math. Let's share. And so I'll select math. I'm a middle school teacher today. Skip to our settings. I'm going to make it a public group versus a private group or a hidden one. And I'm going to make the settings so that anybody who's in the group can invite anyone else to join us because I want this to be a really active group. You can choose to have a forum, discussion forum, or not. And it depends on the focus of your group. In this case, I definitely want a forum. And you should choose a photograph. Let's pick that one, upload the image. This should be pretty familiar to most people who've uploaded an image. This is very Facebook-like. Crop it. I didn't crop it very well. And then you can invite people to join your group. So anybody who's not a Curriki member, you want to send them an invitation by email. And you can put 5 people at a time. Let's see. Let's invite my mom. And I can also, since I'm a member of these other groups, I will invite her to the ELL group, the science team, and my Special Friday group. And I'll send her an invitation to that. There we go. Now I can go back to that page and now I want to invite sorry about that. No. I want to invite people who are already members of Curriki. So all I have to do is key in their name, and the tool will search for those people. And I picked this name because I know there are just a few Greenewalds in the site, and this Bob is actually our CTO. So I can invite him to join this group. I can invite multiple people to join this group, if it would click over, and then finish. And this is the group as I set it up. I can upload, I can send a message to my members once they join. I can see all my members here or here. So far it's just Sophie. Here is where you would share any resources, and we'll create a great discussion on within the group. And of course, you can always edit this information later on and invite more people. So I want to pause here, end here, and thank you all for joining us. I hope that you enjoyed and liked what you saw. We're pretty excited about it. We're currently beta testing the website. So we would like to invite all of you to help us beta test. And you'll get an invitation to do that in the post-webinar survey. We'll have a link in there where you can take the survey, and in the survey you can actually sign up to help us beta test. And so with that, I will pass it to Nick, and we can go to answer some questions.
Well, thanks a lot, Janet. And here is some of the questions are just about how to reach you and how to get more information about Curriki or about Huawei. So here's a slide with information and phone numbers that you can call and email addresses and websites that you can connect to. We do have a number of questions, so I want to go ahead and get those going for you, Janet. So the first one says, are all the materials on the Curriki site, are they teacher contributed or do we have resources coming from other places as well?
That's a really good question because I'm not sure I made that quite clear. Yes, Curriki has many generous content partners like Oracle Academy, Concord Consortium, Archive, Math for America, Schmoop, and many others. So there are many content partners contributing materials as well as educators.
Excellent. Okay. And this one says, I know you talked a little bit about groups, but can you just elaborate a little bit more on what some other things that people use the groups for?
Mm-hmm. Sure. So a lot of the very active groups on Curriki are the district and school teams that create a group so they can collaborate together in a virtual space where they share and create curriculum. And Curriki benefits their work because those district and school-level curriculum developers actually then share their materials with the global community. So we highly encourage school and district groups to use our free service.
Excellent. This next question says, you've been showing the beta site, the beta version of the new site. When is this site expected to go live?
It is expected to go live later this summer. We're looking at early August, and we will. What we can do, Nick, is send an email to all the folks who joined us today to let them know a week or so before it's ready to launch. Excellent.
Just in time for the new school year, right? So that's excellent. The next one says, just confirming that this site is not just for teachers, also students can use Curriki as well, correct?
Absolutely. In fact, the gal I showed you on our homepage, Kristen, she was a high school student who was having issues in geometry and didn't find much help from her teacher, which can happen, right? We're not all perfect. And so she came to the site and found some great videos and activities that helped her understand what she was missing from the classroom. And she actually ended up getting an A. So we highly encourage it.
Excellent. This next one says, does Curriki allow teachers to better adapt to classrooms with students at different levels and abilities? And if so, how does this play out in practice?
That's a really good question. One of the things that teachers use Curriki for is to find materials and suggestions and so that they can actually personalize the learning for the students. We're not a mechanical personalization engine. That's not what Curriki does. Those have their place, and I'm sure they're very helpful. But we believe in the teacher and enabling them to personalize it for their students because they know the students better than any computer program could ever know them. So they come to the website and can find the materials based on the reviews and the recommendations by other educators that they can choose to use in their classroom. And I showed you how to easily share those with their students. So, you could even take the link and assign it to a student within your learning management system. So that's kind of the process. We, like I said, we help teachers personalize their learning experience for their students, whether they're struggling or whether they are a little bored and need to move quicker. We have everything in way of materials for that purpose.
Excellent. Great answer. Next question. What grade level or levels are the sweet spot for Curriki and understanding your overall level of OERs? Is it elementary? Is it middle school, high school, college? Kind of where's the bulk of the resources currently?
Right now, I would say that it's middle school and high school. We do have quite a number of elementary and even pre-K materials that have been shared by educators, but the big volume really is in middle school and high school materials.
Excellent. Looks like we have one question. If you have any other questions, please submit them now because we have one more, and then that will be it unless people submit some more. This last one says, now that the new website is almost finished, what else is Curriki doing to make OER access easier and more productive for teachers?
So Curriki has already begun a project to curate supplemental resources along a scope and sequence for STEM courses in middle school and in high school. We've already completed pre-algebra, geometry, algebra, and calculus. In fact, the calculus curation project was sponsored by Huawei. Another great partner, AT&T, sponsored the other math courses that we curated. And we've actually already fully curated American History course. And this summer, we're going to start curating physics materials and line them to the next generation science standards. That takes some work and resources. So we are actively seeking sponsors to fund the curation of middle school and high school science. So at some point in the near future, we will have a full contingent of courses aligned to standards for science and math. And we'll even go into technology and engineering when we get there. So that's kind of the big project on the horizon for me.
Wow, excellent. There is another one that came in, another question, and it says, are there plans to increase the content around the primary education space?
Absolutely. We welcome and actively seek content partners at all grade levels. Like I said, we're focusing first on the curation of materials at the middle school and high school level, but we're always actively seeking materials at all grade levels.
Okay, well, that about exhausts the questions for today. So, Janet, I want to just give you a huge thank you. As I mentioned in the beginning, it was a big departure for us not to do a product or solution-focused demo around various different hardware kind of platforms. That's kind of our normal webinar topic. So today was something really different, something fresh and interesting. And as you mentioned a couple of times, and I did as well, Huawei is definitely a friend of education. We're huge supporters of any organization that's helping students gain access to content and information and inspire their learning. So thank you very much for your time, and thanks everybody in the audience for your participation in the polling and with your questions. Any final parting comment, Janet?
No, I just want to say thank you to everybody for joining us, and please share the information that you've learned. And if you're not a member of Curriki, come to the come to the site now, the old site, or come to the new site in August and join us.
Okay, thanks again, everyone. The recording will be available shortly on the Huawei Enterprise USA website, so be looking for that there. And as Janet said, we'll have a follow-up email with some more links and information about how to gain further information and how to participate in the beta for the new website if you're interested. Thanks again, everyone, and we'll see you shortly in the near future here on another Huawei webinar. Good day.
Thanks. Bye.